Wunderschönen guten Tag und herzlich willkommen bei Krautgaming. Die Fans warten wie blöde auf Planetside 2. Die interne Beta läuft zwar schon, aber dennoch sind Informationen rar. Wir haben aber die Chance, ein Interview zu führen mit Creative Director Matt Higby und ihm ein paar Informationen aus der Nase zu ziehen. Das ganze Interview seht ihr jetzt auf Krautgaming. The great Matt Higby is with me. You're the creative director of Planetside 2, is that right?
That's absolutely right.
Awesome. So first things first, I want to greet you from the great Planetside 1 outfit. Better red than that. Those guys are insane about Planetside 2.
Awesome.
And they want to thank you for all the commitment you're doing and you and your team are doing for Planetside 2. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for being a fan of Planetside and Planetside 2.
How could you not be? But anyways, I hope you're not mad at me about fraction picking, because we are hardcore Terran Republic. And so we have the question, in the promotionals of Planetside 2, the main focus seems to be on either the new conglomerate or the Vanu sovereignty. When will this act of repression end and the true glory of the Terran Republic will be shown?
You know, I hear from everybody that their faction is underrepresented. Everybody, even NC people. So we say, we need more NC stuff out there. So
they're obviously wrong.
They are wrong, actually, because there's a lot of NC stuff out there. But I think it just shows how strongly people feel about their factions, how loyal they feel to it, that they want more. I only want to see Vanu footage. I only want to see new conglomerate footage, And if it's not that, then it doesn't count. That's cool.
All right. Another faction picky question. How will the Vanu sovereignty remain in the game without an overpowered weapon like Jackhammer?
Well, I mean, they have their own overpowered stuff. Right now, I honestly feel like the Vanu have the most powerful vehicles in the game. Like the Mag Rider is just ridiculous, and we got to nerf that. I'm basically across the board a really big proponent of nerfing anything that's Vanu, and all the TR stuff too. I just think, why give you guys good stuff?
All right.
Why?
All right. No. Let's get serious, but. Let's stay at the topic. I mean, you are having 3 awesome factions in the game that are even more specialized than in Planetside 1. How hard is it to balance that against each other?
Well, I mean, asymmetrical balance is always very challenging. We're trying to push it as far as we can to make them feel unique, but still feel like they fight in the same place and belong in the same place. I think the biggest area where you see a big difference is the core weapon designs are very different. So like Vanu weapons, for instance, they don't have any bullet drop to factor in, which means that their weapons are far more accurate at range than the other guys are. And the aircraft obviously fly very differently. It's a challenge. It's definitely an ongoing challenge, but one of the best things to do is just try to give everybody strengths and weaknesses, things that they're specifically very good at, and they can feel like they're badasses when they do it.
So with the balance out of mind, we're coming to the battlefield. That has changed a bit from Planetside 1. I mean, we started in 2003 with the old Usher map with the single planet, and then sometime later the planet broke up and all the tiny planets came. That's different now in Planetside 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Planetside 2 we call a revisioning of Planetside. So if you played Planetside, you're going to be able to really feel familiar places, familiar themes, but the game itself and the lore is all sort of reset. So yeah, you're back on Araxis. It's still the same enigmatic, mysterious planet, and the same 3 factions are battling over it. But other than that, there's not a lot of story that's shared between them.
As a creative director, it is your job to give the look and feel to the game, but you've got so much stuff that is already there. How hard is it to bring your own ideas and stuff in there without breaking the overall concept that has been set with Planetside?
Well, I mean, I can't take too much credit for the look of the game. That's obviously Tramel's job, and he would be furious at me if I took credit for it. I think that, from my point of view, the biggest challenge with Planetside has been making it be more accessible, making people be able to get into it and have a good time faster. And we've built a lot of systems that really work along that, but still allow you to have the same level of strategic depth, and in a lot of cases even more strategic depth than the original game had. So I think keeping true to the spirit of what Planetside was. Planetside at its core was a team game. It was about getting together with hundreds of players and accomplishing big, big goals. And Planetside 2 at its core is still that same team aspect. We want to make it feel really good, feel really rewarding, to go experience these massive battles where you're playing with hundreds of people alongside you.
So that is basically one of the fears I heard from the guys at Better Red than that it had become too mainstream. I mean, you have to take the Planetside franchise to the mainstream to be successful. That is totally okay. But still, at its core, it has to be a huge scale, kick-ass team play combat game. How do you not make a first-person shooter out of it?
Well, I mean, I think when people think of it becoming too mainstreamed, or a lot of times people will say that a game is getting dumbed down because they're trying to get it to a mainstream audience. I don't really feel that way about what we've done with Planetside 2, because we've still maintained the ability for you to do just amazing tactical things with a group. We have a lot of leadership abilities that are in that allow you to do a lot of strategic options. So there's actually a lot more depth to what you can do from a strategic standpoint with Planetside 2 than the original Planetside had, by far. The problem is it's hard to convey that stuff. It's hard to show a demo and give you an idea of here's what the game feels like at a strategic level when you've been playing for dozens of hours, you know? It's just hard to convey it. You have to actually get in, play it, and experience it yourself.
All right. So with the original Planetside, if you get killed as a Terran Republic guy, most of the time it's like, oh, jackhammer, all right. How, with the new Planetside, or Planetside 2, you've got a free-to-play microtransactions item store concept.
Yep.
Will there be that feeling, or how do you not, how do you hinder that feeling that, like, all right, he just killed me because he bought the better weapon?
That's a great question. So one of the things that we've worked a lot on is trying to make sure that our free-to-play model doesn't ever feel like a pay-to-win model. Mm-hmm. All of our weapons in the game are all balanced against each other. So none of them are designed to be better overall than another gun. They're just different. So you have one that could be better in this situation than the other one was. The other thing is, none of the guns that are in the game, and nothing that affects gameplay at all, is exclusively sold for station cash. You can always go in and earn weapons, earn implants, earn anything that changes your ability to fight using resources that you earn by competing with players in game. So spending station cash is kind of a shortcut to get it quicker, but there's never like the, oh, he paid $10, he got the better gun, that's why he beat me. We always want it to feel like if you're a skilled player and you've been playing for 30 seconds, and you're just a great shooter player, you should be able to go in and wipe the floor with people, even if they've spent $500 and have been playing for years. If they're not as good of a shooter player as you should be winning.
So with Planetside 1, even with the instant action option, it takes you about 5-6 minutes to get into the real combat. And
yeah.
You're talking about 30 seconds. How do you do that?
Well, we've revamped our instant action system. The way it works now is based on which continent you're on. You'll be able to see lots of different hotspots, and you'll be able to go directly to any one of those hotspots. So that's a big thing. You can also select spawn points a little bit easier in Planetside 2 than in Planetside 1. It's easier for you to get right into a combat zone. And our mission system is going to really help you out with finding content that's going to be relevant to you. So if you want to play as a tank driver today, you'll be able to just look on the map, select the mission list, say, oh, I want to look for tank missions, and you'll be able to see all these player-created places where they say that they need tanks to come support them. And now you're going to go join that thing, you're going to be involved in some really cool big-ass battle, and really what you're doing is going and doing the activity that you want, but you're supporting other players because you're following through on their requests. And that's that's something that we're really, really excited about getting in there, because it helps really bridge the gap between the casual FPS players that just want to jump in and have the good time and play these gigantic battles, and the more strategic thinking guys who've been playing for years or really have an idea of what they want to do kind of in a more long-term sense.
So with such large scale, you have to maintain huge maps. And the question is, how do you do that? I mean, do they pop out of a generator? Do you have like a program like TerraGen? All right, make me a forest map, and it pops out, or is it handcrafted?
I wish we had that. No, it's actually handcrafted, 100% handcrafted. Each one of our maps, I was just talking to Tremel about this. Our maps take about 6 months for us to make, and it's a large group of people that's working on making each one of these. There's 64 square kilometers, and we absolutely do handcraft them. So we want them to feel like everywhere that you're running around and playing is designed for people to be fighting there. A lot of times, if you just, it would be really easy for us to just generate some terrain, throw some bases on it, and be like, okay, that's another map, generate some terrain. Oh, there's an ice one, generate some terrain, whatever. But it's really important to us to make sure that we maintain that feeling that each one of these areas is hand-tuned for gameplay. There's certain things in it that just work better. This is an area that's awesome for vehicles. This is an area that's awesome for infantry to fight against vehicles in. So, yeah, it's definitely time-consuming, and there's not an easy answer to it. It's a really difficult process for us.
Also, the bases, you've still got 5 or 6 different types of bases in Planetside, like the Tech Lab and the Bio Lab, and does the overall layout of the base stay the same all over the continent, or do the bases have variants?
No, they absolutely have variants. So we have 3 main facility types in the game right now, but each one you go to is going to feel completely different. And there's going to even be different routes to capture them. Some of them might have force fields that block you off from being able to get to a certain command console until you destroy the generator, versus another one that doesn't even have a command console there. It has a completely different way to capture it. So yeah, we're building in as much variance as we can so that it feels like you're not just fighting in the same map over and over again.
So as of the instant action, first-person action, the real heart of the game is in the strategy large-scale battle game. What would you say to a new player? What should he do when joining Planetside and when he wants to experience that large-scale battles?
Well, I think at first a good thing to do is hop into a squad, of course, you know, join with other players and take advantage of all the different sort of team-based gameplay that's there. But join an outfit, you know. We built a really robust outfit system, which is like a guild system for people who aren't familiar with Planetside. It allows you to do any of the things you would expect to see in today's AAA MMORPGs for a guild, except it's in an FPS game. So you can have different ranks, different permissions for each rank, different chat channels. We have voice over IP built in too. So if you really want to have that massive coordinated war experience, I absolutely suggest join an outfit, find an outfit that does the kind of stuff that you want to do, join it, and then enjoy.
So you've got a true army of players out there that are already playing the beta and that are really passionate for the game. What do you have to say to them?
Thanks for helping us test. I mean, the beta players are awesome. They're giving us lots of feedback, lots of suggestions. I always say that we're doing a real beta. We're not doing the typical, this is a demo of the game that we're just kind of putting out there for publicity's sake. We're doing a real beta because we want to hear people's opinions, and honestly, it takes 1,000 people to come on and let us know what works well and what doesn't. We can't just test our game with our team internally. We don't have the people to do it. So our beta players are helping us craft the game experience right now. They absolutely are.
All right, guys, this is to you. If you've got questions about the game, ask Matt on Twitter. You are a passionate Twitter user. Yeah. What is your Twitter nick?
Higby.
All right, that's easy. Ask him on Twitter if anything is unclear. Otherwise, thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you for making a great game, and we're out. Bye.
See ya.